Muy difícil poner todos los 10 minutos de César Chávez. En mi vecindad en San Francisco hay una calle, cambiaron de nombre, o pusieron un nuevo nombre, César Chávez, calle Army Street. Okay. Hay un libro que se llama Huelga. There's a book out called Huelga. It's authored by César himself, and written about 30 years ago, I guess. And in the book, on page 66, I made a note of it so I can keep it forever. He says, the beginning of my education in social justice was with Father Donald McDonald in East Palo Alto, in Salsipuedes and Salsipuedes. Oh, pardon me. I said Palo Alto, East San Jose. Okay. Un barrio que se llama Salsipuedes. That means get out if you can. So, anyhow, I go back a long way with Father McDonald, 75 years plus, you know. 1939, when I went to the seminary, he was there 3 years ahead of me. So in the minor seminary, I was with him for 3 years. He was summa cum laude student, also athlete, holy person, very special seminarian. He became a great priest of God. Anyhow, I had the privilege of following him at St. Joseph's Church in Mountain View, and I saw the things that he did. He did everything in a short time. He was there 3 years. He had a credit union for the poor people. He had a society to help with funeral expenses. He had a Guadalupe Center for the poor for food and clothing. And he had a youth club, incredible youth club of really kind of tough kids. He put them into boxing even. Somebody said, why do you put them into boxing? You're so calm and so quiet. He said, well, they're already fighting in the street, so I thought they should put on gloves. And one of his boys went to the national championship, by the way. He did a great deal at parish. 1951, I was on vacation. I went to help him in Salsipuedes. He had a little hall there, Tremont Hall, where he started to say masses. And los que hablan español entienden el gabacho en inglés. ¿Cuántos me entienden? ¿Me entienden? Okay, keep going English, because a lot of people here who don't use español. Okay, now here's something you should know. The newspaper, the Mercury, said that the building, which is going to honor Cesar as a national monument, it's now a California monument, a little building. I was there when he was about to move it. He moved it. It was the Church of St. Martin's in San Jose. He bought it. Somehow he got $1,000 and he bought the church. He had the Kelly brothers move it for him out to East San Jose, 2121 Kimmerer Street, I remember. He put a foundation for $6,000, and for $7,000, he built the center, which is going to become the national monument for César Chávez. It was a hall. It is a hall now, but it was a church from 1951 until 1968, when 100 Crucillo people built a new church, St. Guadalupe Church, a beautiful big church now in East San Jose. 1952 to 56, around there, he was working in Salsipuedes, and he met this 18-year-old fellow he thought was very sharp and very good Catholic. And he said, boy, he could be a leader. So he taught him the encyclicals of the Pope Leo XIII and Pius XI on a living wage. It was called Rerum Novarum, New Things, a living wage. And he taught Cesar, and Cesar would help him to go to the Bracero camps. He went to all the camps around East San Jose. Okay, and 1952 also to 60, around that time, the Guadalupe little church became the cultural center of East San Jose. For quinceaños, for all different events, that was the center. The Mercury did a history of East San Jose, never mentioned Father McDonnell. They never mentioned that it was the cultural center of all the activities for the immigrants and the Spanish-speaking people of that area. Anyhow, 1960, his father's mission there ended, and he volunteered to be a missionary in Latin America. He went to Brazil. When he went there, he found 200,000 Japanese people. So what does he do? He goes to Japan. He learns the language in a hurry. He was really a genius at languages and many other things. And came back and he served the Japanese in Brazil for years. And then he came back around 1970, went to Guadalupe Church in San Francisco. And he found a Chinese population. What does he do? He goes to China and learns Chinese, which is very difficult to learn. He picked it up in a hurry, came back, and he served that mission for a long time. 1980s, 1990s, Father McDonnell was demonstrating pro-life. I hate to say this in the presence of our Chief Mardini and a wonderful police department, but he was put in jail many times for protesting in front of the Planned Parenthood, pro-life, So, anyhow, he was many times jailed. Father Goody visited him in the jail. Did they put you in one time too? Yeah, one time too. Okay. I'll end up with one story you might like. Father McDonnell, I told you he was a really smart guy. He got tired of the high rates that morticians were charging people for burial. In those days, it was like 5,000 maybe. Now it's up to 8,000 or 10,000, okay? So he decided to get mortician papers and become a mortician himself, believe it or not. He got the papers, and hers was his car, So one legendary story says a cop stopped him one time, and he had a body in the back seat, which he'd removed to take for burial. Father McDonnell had the papers, and he showed the policeman the papers. The policeman called the district attorney. District attorney finally got in touch with the governor. Governor Brown said, he's perfectly right. The original Governor Brown, the first one, did too. He said, he's perfectly right. He has a right to remove the body and to bury it, So, anyhow, one time they were making a removal from the hospital, and César was who followed Father Mac to the camps and to the hospitals, wherever he was a good friend of Father Mac, So César hurt his back forever. He had a bad back, and carrying the body from the hospital for burial, So, but he just was a mortician for a few weeks, just to show up that it could be done for 1,500 instead of 5,000, So, anyhow, Father Mac was a good friend of César, and as I said in the book Welga, you could look it up. He says, the beginning of my education in social justice was with Father Donnell McDonnell, Salsipuedes, in East San Jose. Okay. That's about all I got for today. I got tons more, but I only got a few. Keep it short.